Well, if you remember, though, at their romantic party after, tying the agreement,
everybody was happy for them.
Danielle would not shut up. She was talking. Remember, I talked. She was talking to the barkeep. She was like, "Can you believe they didn't tell me?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "I don't know who you are."
Right.
So she did it to everybody.
And then Ken was like, "This is Danielle. She's from Summer House. Can you believe?"
Ken, get out of here. You need to take your medication.
All right, sorry.
There's a lot of stuff on TV, but not all of it's good. In fact, a lot of it's bad TV.
Yo, it's Bad TV in your ears. I'm Dylan, saddled up next to one Patrick Hickey.
Great to be here.
Kaylin, producer of the podcast, is over there behind my glasses.
Hello.
We are nearing the end of our journey with the Gang in the Hamptons. It is episode whatever it is of Summer House. And yeah, I mean, we'll talk about this throughout the episode, but the overarching theme of this podcast and the episode of Summer House that we saw is finally a good one. Mm-hmm. Finally, we got a good one. And we'll talk about why it was good. Perhaps two people weren't there who are manic, boring, weird, sober fucking people who should get off the fucking show in perpetuity and go be unhappy with each other and then divorce after a year and a half because the sticky, unresolved tension between you two that has been growing from day one just won't be resolved. So we'll get that Instagram post. But anyways, before we get into any of that, we have to get some public service announcements out of the way.
Oh, okay. Look, if you're listening to this on Bad TV, but if you're interested in Below Deck, in back of the early episodes, Dylan and I, starting next week, are going to start recapping. We haven't decided which season yet, but definitely either season 1 or season 2
yeah, definitely
Below
either
Deck
one of those.
OG. So if you need more Below Deck in your life, head over and subscribe to another Below Deck podcast.
And if you are following the scandal that has taken the world by storm, kind of, join us at patreon.com/anotherpodcastnetwork, where me, Pat, and Rubes will be breaking down the finale and the 3-part reunion in just super fun detail.
Yeah, hey, and don't forget the other things that we do over at Patreon. For $5, you get that show, and you also get another podcast show with Dylan and I just gabbing and goofing. This week, I found out my wife was getting therapy behind my back, and I share.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, I really share.
Yeah, we also have PMZ and Forget Not. $5 will get you ad-free episodes. Mm-hmm. So let's get into this episode of Summer House. Patrick.
Yes.
How many turkey sandwiches do you give this episode?
Okay, so this is hard. When I was first watching this episode, I was under the impression this was going to be the finale, and then when there was 10 minutes left...
Can I smoke pot?
Go for it, dude.
I don't want to get you high.
Well, blow it the other direction. All right. I want to talk about this episode.
Kaylin, you all right if I smoke in here?
Go for it.
Okay. Well, I'll commence my thoughts.
That could kill Kaylin. I mean, we've talked about how shitty his organs are.
He's got a good lawyer, though. His family would be fine.
All right.
Okay. This is why, and forgive me if I'm a broken record, this show sucks.
Yeah.
Mega Bed. Do you remember that part? That 5 minutes of the TV show where...
it was like a Stanley Kubrick kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, they played... they used music from 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
I believe that was Strauss. It's got a weird name, that song. It's not called 2001.
Am I out of my mind? But I'm pretty sure it was that blind guy Beethoven. He couldn't see, so he couldn't make any music.
No, it's definitely not Beethoven. All right. So that's why this show sucks. 5 minutes on pulling beds together. And I thought this was the finale. I'm like, really? This is what you do with your last 50 minutes?
Yeah.
You know? So anyway, here's some other notable things about this show. Danielle taking a Darth Vader type of character turn from evil to good at the tail end of this episode. It was interesting seeing
From
her.
evil to good?
Oh, well, she left the dark side, hating Carl and Lindsay, to, hey, Ick, take that fucking cowboy hat off, all right?
Yeah.
You square-headed, goofy-looking motherfucker, okay? Don't desecrate the dead All right? You can't wear their fucking property.
I would call it more of a lateral move, like from really fucking annoying to really still fucking annoying.
Fair enough. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's what I would do as a producer with this show.
Okay.
So, all right, as a producer, you cast a reality show, okay? And then you start shooting away. And then when a cast member named Sierra says something stupid like, I'm not going to just hook up with people this summer, that's when you make her storyline that she moved to Oregon or something, and then you call in some girl from Temptation Island to take her place, okay?
What, do you kill her?
No, you write her out of the storyline. She moved to Oregon. And then as far as the guys,
But she didn't do that.
Well, no, that's bad producing. I'm saying if I was producing, that's how I would have fixed the show very early on.
Okay, but they don't kill her.
No. We just say she moved to Oregon for some reason,
Okay.
And then with the ick, because we want to get rid of his ass, you tell him we're going back to war with Vietnam.
Right.
Okay? And he'll answer the call, because he's a former Marine.
Yeah, he's a patriot.
And then you'll pull in 2 guys from Temptation Island.
Right.
All right? Get clean house.
And
clean house.
people will ask the question, isn't this just Temptation Island? You go, no, I produce reality television, and because of that, I know that's a really stupid fucking question. Security.
No, this one's called Summer House. It's totally different.
Right, totally different.
But anyway, that's what I would do. Horrible season. Okay episode.
Oh, Patrick, come on, man.
All right. I'll give it 12 turkey sandwiches.
All right. I thought that finally, as I mentioned, we got a good episode. Now, again, this is not an episode of the season kind of episode. This is usually an episode 7 kind of fun episode where you go, I'm happy that I can lobotomize myself with this on Monday nights, because what else am I going to do? But the reason why the episode was the best of the season is because it is standing alongside... I'm trying to think of a lineup, right? And my head goes to, obviously, like a slaughterhouse. And it's like, this is like... Now, I'm not going to keep going. But it was a good episode because Carl and Lindsay were gone. And we'll talk about their melodrama and their... I can't think of another word other than disgusting. Limited vocabulary and whatnot. I wish I had a better word, but these two people have such a place in my gut. Like, I fucking despise these two.
This is kind of crazy because I think everybody else did them wrong. Now, I truly, in my heart, don't care. But
yeah.
But if
me neither.
But if I'm sitting in that jury box, by the way, watch Jury Duty on Freevee. It's a way better show.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But first download Freevee.
But if I'm sitting in the cheap seats, I think everybody else was such... they even get referred to, most of the cast, as... Not Real Friends or something by Lindsay.
Yeah.
And they had a real problem with that.
Yeah.
But in reality, they're not real friends.
No,
they're TV friends.
Right.
And I think Carl and Lindsay are over it. And
good. Go away. You're boring. You suck. But also, it was lovely to see. There were so many great things about this episode. Paige being a stone cold monster, which is her best form. Greg crying because he forgot his mom's birthday and instead went on a yacht and got fucked up. The dinner that they lay out for everybody that they made, aka they bought a bunch of sushi trays from fucking the grocery store. Yeah. It had so much working for it. Mm-hmm. But you don't have to listen to us. 4 turkey sandwiches. So you don't have to listen to us talk about this episode if you don't want to, right?
No.
You can listen to people on the cast.
Right. Because I found
I'm a little pissed off right now.
Well,
Pat said I'm going to throw to the clip in my turkey sandwiches. You said,
I was
and then I know I have to do it.
Audible. Then I was thinking in my head, I'm going to bring this up later when I go at Sierra.
All right. I mean, how am I to know that?
Okay. Good Segui, though, Del. Sierra and Maya have launched a podcast this week called Codependence. Now, I've listened to a little bit of it, but I've mostly read through the reviews because that's where you really get at the heart of what's going on with that podcast.
And
the reviews.
Yeah, and we should say Codependence is suffering from a SEO problem.
Yeah, no one's listening.
But there are a lot of podcasts called Codependence because it's a very basic thing to do, to have two millennial women who are hot talk about mental wellness and stuff like that.
Yeah. The first episode is called like, Am I Fat or something?
Right,
no, it's
right.
called I Think I'm Ugly or something.
Right.
But anyway, I do want to say this. This is going to be a good test for Sierra. Maya, I'm totally fine with you. You weren't even featured. I don't even think you were on the show this summer. And
Not
you
on
think,
the show.
Bravo, you think you're going to end this season with a season finale of some kind of fight between her and Oliver and whether or not they love each other or not? Are you out of your goddamn mind?
That might get high from that one. That was an accident.
Dylan just blew weed in my face.
Sorry.
I'm going to call my lawyer.
See it on the camera.
Kaylin, get Brian, my agent, on the phone. Okay.
All right.
Oh, God, I think I'm high. Jesus fucking Christ. All right. Anyway, I already lost my goddamn train of thought.
Yeah.
What was I saying?
Let's just play the fucking trailer.
Oh, yeah. So this is a little bit of the podcast. Now, okay, I have said Sierra has she adds zero entertainment value to this show. So now she's out on her own, with Maya, doing a podcast.
Yeah.
And this is where the chickens will come home to roost.
Right.
Will she, in fact, hold a nation spellbound with her voice and her thoughts? I think not.
Right.
Go ahead. Let's hear a little bit of this.
Welcome to Codependence. I'm Sierra Miller.
And I'm Maya Allen.
And I'm officially claiming Maya's ass on my taxes this season.
Bitch, you better not be telling the IRS what I'm up to.
Some would say
They wrote this.
Well, yeah, I mean,
If you
was
are
good.
talking
That was a
to
good
anyone
joke.
else on FaceTime while naked showering, I will have a problem.
I'm definitely not.
Okay, so let's just get down to it. You all already know us from Bravo TV's Summer House, but it's time to get to know us without the middleman.
We will be giving you an insider access into our sisterhood.
Codependence is a weekly
Okay.
podcast that...
All right, first
Stop.
I want to say this. They did something that's odd here. So normally when you launch a podcast, you'll do like a 3-minute trailer is what you're hearing now. They did do this, and then for some reason, they embedded it at the top of their actual first podcast.
Yeah, a little inside baseball. You have to launch the RSS feed with some kind of content.
Yeah, so they know you're not like doing a podcast about white supremacy or something. That's how they test you. That's why they do it.
I mean, what are you doing right now?
Well, that's why Apple, they want to
Go
hear what you're
listen to
gonna
them talk about this show. Why are you listening to us talk about this show? Kaylin, did you watch it?
I didn't.
All right. Let's get into it. So we continue with the fallout from Chef and Carl's conversation. Now, Carl is stormed off because Chef is ruining the most beautiful night of his life. Kyle comes over, and Carl begins screaming about how they bought a car together. This guy's losing it.
Now, Kyle is no help here. Kyle's trying to comfort him, but Kyle, as per the usual arrangement, is pretty intoxicated. And that's when I realized there are two constants with Kyle.
Right.
One is, at any point of any given day, he'd definitely blow a .9. And that would get you in the clink if you were driving an automobile.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's the weekend.
He's always wasted, and his voice is always slurring. Second, there's always a can of Loverboy glued to his hand, or is it? I think the people that are actual investors in Loverboy, because there's always one in his hand, they actually did glue it to his hand.
Oh, wow.
Because he's such a drunk, he'd forget to promote the brand, you know?
Yeah.
And I think Andy owns a stake in it.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. Yeah, no, he's a lot like Logan Paul with that Prime drink. Just always has it with him. Now, can we talk about Kyle really quickly?
Sure.
Because I don't think it's far-fetched to say that he has been, you want to talk about constants, just an MVP professional performance from him throughout the entire thing. He's caused some fights. He's consoled those who have been in fights. He's been drunk the entire time. He's been eating Tostinos. He's been eating Tostitos. He's just been so Summer House this summer.
Mm-hmm. I think he's trying a little too hard.
I'm appreciative of Kyle. And Kyle in this moment is like, dude, I get it. People talk about me all the time. People question me all the time.
He makes it about himself.
Yeah,
is
he's
what he
like,
does.
why does he? People are like, why does he have a can of Loverboy glued to his hands? You know, you got to just let that stuff roll off your shoulders like a duck. He screams it at him like a duck. I was like, what's going on with it? So Danielle is Danielling all over the place. And fans really got on my chaps. Or chap my ass last week because I was defending Danielle. Who could possibly remember what I said? But what I will say tonight, I am not on Danielle's side. Danielle is so awful this episode. And it is a little bit different last week because she was going up against the lizard queen of the season, who I believe to be Lindsay Hubbard. I think Lindsay is an absolutely disgusting human being, like I mentioned. But next week, we see her stare down Danielle in what is a kind of Anakin versus Obi-Wan kind of moment. And the cold, relentless hatred that Lindsay has for Danielle is something psychotic. Lindsay is mentally ill. And so is Carl. So they're going to kill each other. But we'll get there.
These things may be true. Dylan, I want to say your opinion of Lindsay and Carl, obviously they're sober, so they're boring, but just as personalities and kind of what they're up against this season, I would have to say I think your opinion of Lindsay is still being colored by her past actions. I'm just visiting her as a new person that I'm getting to know, and so far, I'm Team Lindsay.
Yeah, well, if you just had tea with Hitler and he didn't talk about what he was going to do, bad analogy, but you'd be like, I think that guy's great, and then you'd step out and you'd be like, oh my God, what are all these people doing? Again, it was a bad analogy, but I would say
way over the top.
I would say
over the top.
Context when you're, talking about somebody's character is important. You're just doing pottery with Pol Pot. You're like, oh, this is a nice Asian man. He's killing everyone with glasses outside of this class. All right, so Danielle is this distraught, kind of scorned.
She's got the O face.
Yeah, she's like one of the Boleyn sisters. She's just like, oh, I don't know what to do.
Well, every piece of information, like, not to get ahead of myself, but Lindsay and Carl take off without saying goodbye to any of their fake friends. This is the look she gave the O face. She goes,
I know. Bad TV, YouTube. So Lindsay finds Carl and Kyle, and Kyle goes, I'm going to leave you guys alone. And he proceeds to not do that. And when they depart, he goes, this is just me in a fucking alleyway because I'm a fake friend, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, Kyle's great.
Well, let me break down these friends, because when they left, they said they're going to hang out with our friends, and that's where Kyle picked up on, I guess, we're fake friends. There are different types of friends or different type of TV relationships, Dylan.
Yeah.
There's TV spouses.
Nick and Vanessa.
Yeah, I think they love each other. I'm talking more like Bachelor Nation. There's people that get married, for the sake of TV.
Oh, you're talking about like Becca and Pepperoni Tits.
That's exactly who I'm citing. And then they go ahead and they make a thing called TV babies. Those are babies that came out of TV spouses.
Yeah.
And there's been a few of those in Bachelor Nation. Yeah. And then, of course, there's finally TV friends. And those aren't your real friends. Those are only people that you kind of hang out with and communicate and pretend to be friends with while the cameras are on.
Yeah, and then you employ them. And they're on so much blow they forget their computer. And you try to reprimand them, and they go, this is a TV friendship. What are you doing? Let me party. And then years later, they're sober and annoying. And they're marrying people like Lindsay, who, as she storms off, is doing the most Lindsay thing. She's just like, oh, sorry, so our big day doesn't matter? Oh, okay, Carl, let's go. My therapy is pretty expensive, so I would never want to talk about this. But I would like to ask my therapist why I hate this couple so much.
Can we get to Sierra and Greg? Now, this is where a big mistake takes place here. They have chemistry, these two.
You know what? Thank God. We go to we're sucking down picklebacks, right, with Sierra Miller, co-host of Codependent. And Greg, who probably has a podcast too. He also has a serious alcohol problem.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. You're saying a lot of stupid things there.
Yeah. The drunk emotional whirlpool that you can fall into is really, really treacherous. We've all been there where you're just crying. So anyways, yes, I turned to my wife and I was like, I think there's some chemistry between these two. And she goes, no, I don't see that at all. And I was like, well, I can guarantee you one thing, at the very least. Greg wants to have sex with her.
100%.
Yeah.
And he should. Because Paige hates him.
What? Well, he has to break off the relationship with Paige.
No. See what it did for Dylan. Are you producer or what, man? You want these two having a secret relationship.
Got it. Love that.
That's what revives new life into this.
Right. And then Bravo can be like, see, Charleston's not racist.
Right.
Yeah. There's so many good things that could come of this. But yeah, Greg says like it's really cool to be able to watch your shows with someone. Yep. That's the only thing.
He also he wants to eat popcorn with someone too, you know?
Yeah.
Everyone wants someone to eat popcorn.
Okay, so these two are morons. Right?
Yeah.
So they're having this conversation, and this is where it's shocking, like the hubris of reality television stars. And listen, I feel this way too. But we're not force-fed like Sierra and Greg are to audiences. You got to find us. It's very annoying, actually.
Right.
I'd prefer to be force-fed.
Me too.
But the fact that they're sitting there talking to each other in earnest about how painful it is to be a hopeless romantic. If you or I were on that TV show, they would have so much to cut out because I would just look to camera. I'd be like, this is the dumbest. Like, we have nothing to talk about. I mean, come on. You're not going to show this to people, right? It's just too stupid. But I do think the only thing that he said of merit was that, thing to you want to watch your shows with somebody.
Netflix with someone. Everybody wants someone to eat popcorn with.
Because I think one of the cokeheads on Love Is Blind said this, but
who?
Life is highs. Life is highs and lows, but there is a lot of plateaus in between.
All right.
And the person that you find will help get you across those plateaus.
Oh, great. Yeah.
And that's what Greg was talking about.
Yeah. Well, she wants to find her lifelong partner, and I think she should get off this show and go do that.
Yeah.
Unless she's going to do the right thing, which is find your lifelong partner with another cast member on this show.
Well, Greg.
Exactly. But you got to figure them like, I wish we'd go back in a time machine because they should take notice of each other, right? As an audience member, look at them. Then they flirt.
Yeah.
Then they go out for a date, see if that's chemistry.
Yeah.
Then they get drunk.
Right.
And then they spit in each other's mouths.
And then Ken walks in and he's like, can you believe that Greg spit in Sierra's mouth?
Well, and then they kiss and have sex.
Right.
That's what the kids do.
Yeah,
that's the order these days.
Right.
Yeah. It's called foreplay.
Yeah, no, like
spitting in someone's mouth is like giving hugs.
Yeah, we didn't like hook up or anything. We just huffed like a keyboard cleaner and then slapped each other in the face and watched Euphoria.
That's what the kids are doing.
That's the kids are doing these days. All right, so Greg orders 6 steaks. I'm an over orderer. I like to err on the side of wasting food and throwing it away rather than not having enough for people.
When there's one slice of quesadilla down, there's 6 people there staring at it.
You've not done a good job.
What's the order of things? Should I take the quesadilla?
Yeah, you could have a bloodbath on your hands. But if someone ordered 6 steaks at a poolside bar where we're just sucking back some picklebacks, I would slaughter them. I would be like, okay, so what we'll do is you'll pay for all of them because what lunatic orders a steak here? You ordered 6. Stop drinking. All right, so we get back to the house and we get on tables and we drink, and the ick says that he's going to miss these crazy nights with his family.
The ones that won't return a single text when you're not on the show next year, Nick.
Yeah. Well, there's one text, and it comes after 7 or 8. We're TV friends, Ick. I'll see you in fucking... I'll see you on Memorial Day. Leave me alone. And the Ick's like, but that's in 8 months. All right, so while all this is going on, Paige and Sierra and Maya are in bed on their phones, and they're talking about pushing the beds together.
Mega bed.
Now, the
5 minutes spent on this. Music.
we got a graphic.
Graphics.
Yeah, we got a graphic.
Mega bed. That's how I knew. So funny. Can't wait to take a deep dive into that podcast.
Yeah. Can you play the trailer from where you left off?
Yeah, just keep playing.
Yeah.
Let's get into the show. Hey, we're not
open,
going after
raw,
them,
and
by the way.
sometimes a little
No, we're just making fun of their podcast.
Exactly.
We're not saying like go leave bad reviews.
No.
If you want to go and leave 5 stars and say you got to have Patty on.
No, have the Another Below Deck guys on.
No, not Another Below Deck. That's very confusing. Just say you got to have Patty on. 5 stars. Can we listen to the rest?
Sure.
is a weekly podcast that fosters an open, raw, and sometimes a little messy dialogue, leaving absolutely no topic off the table.
Y'all don't even know what you're in for.
I'd say they
Segments
fat
like
shamed a
Ask
bunch
Us
of people in their
Anything,
first episode.
What do you mean?
Well, you just read the reviews.
We will give you our opinions on it all.
And Lord knows we have opinions.
All right,
Okay.
stop. Dude, I cannot stand that.
Music bed?
No. The music bed is totally acceptable. It's Julia Fox. It's
Emrata.
It's Emrata. It's what was it, like Secretless Saints or something?
Uncensored Saints.
Uncensored Saints.
Uncensored Saints.
Yeah, no, that's there. But it's that, and I'm sorry to alienate some of our listeners if you speak like this, but it's that Philly, South Jersey vowel pronunciation that just makes me gag a little bit.
I feel bad we just rifled off 3 female podcasts. Trust me, I can think of some male. I've destroyed a number of them. Why am I in my head right now? I think you got me high.
Don't be in your head. We've taken down more male podcasts than we have female. Doug Allen, JPJ, T-Pain,
we took him out.
Pitbull. I mean,
Jeremy
Piven.
Yeah,
I mean,
living
come
with
on.
Piven.
Living with Piven. Hey, get out of your head, man.
All right. Want to listen to just one last little
Yeah, let's keep listening to it, actually.
Is a weekly podcast that fosters an open...
That jumped back.
Oh, that's okay.
Get in the episode. Let's see.
Just click random.
Yeah, skip ahead to 17 minutes. And we'll get back to the show in a second.
Me a little bit more traditional.
Good.
Well, it's not like I'm a loosey-goosey, but like...
No, definitely not. No, but I think obviously coming to New York and like the whole guys in New York, they really fucking don't want to do a damn thing.
Have you been seeing the dudes on TikTok being like...
Hang on.
Okay, so there's this thing that went viral about this girl that posted on TikTok or Instagram or something that she basically went on 2 dates in 2 days. I don't know if you've seen this.
Oh my God, I've seen girls that are like, I'm going on
They're,
multiple
showing
dates.
their multiple dating life. And guys are reacting saying they're literally just using you for like...
I've slept with
free
3 girls in
meal
the
or
same
good
day.
time. Like, don't just be a girl's entertainment. Now I
free
feel like,
meal?
Now I feel like men are doing even less.
See, I'm relating to the show.
Like,
You can stop it. I don't want to go in on these girls. Our listeners will hate us. Clearly, it sucks. I was relating. That's what we do. That's why podcasts are so crucial to our psyche. You don't want to feel alone in the world.
I feel like I'm getting sick again.
Oh, no.
All right, what happens next?
Oh, okay.
Can you hear that, though? She's like, no, totally. Like, people in New York, it's like, oh, God damn it.
Okay, so this
Fucking
is...
race pork.
I guess let's just jump to the next morning.
Yeah.
The camera shows that Lindsay and Carl have not slept in their beds. Now, production, I know you want to drive home the point that they fucking took off, but you cutting to that bedroom like it's a paranormal movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously their beds are made. No one slept there tonight. Why did you cut back there 3 times?
Can we also really quickly talk about Pedge? Pedge during the megabed thing, and then when Greg is going through turmoil, she has this thing where Now, Pedge is forgiven in my book because she has one-liners that really hit the nail on the head.
She needs to go too, though.
She does not. She just needs to stop dating Greg. Sierra and Greg need to sleep together.
Yeah, 100%.
Because Pedge would turn into a absolute monster. But people would start catching on. They'd be like, hang on a second. This is the exact same fucking thing that happened.
We like redundancy, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah, that's good. That's why McDonald's is so popular.
I thought you were going to say Marvel movies, you know?
Yeah, yeah. They won?
Boy, we're really going to take some heat tomorrow in the reviews, Dylan. For
You mean that alien, he died in the end? The angry one?
Yeah.
What was I saying? No, she has this kind of dead body sketch kind of posture to her at almost all hours of the day, where like even the mega bed, she's just laying there not doing anything to help. When Greg is like, I'm hurting because I'm a drunk and I forgot my mom's birthday, she's just laying there. Now, honestly, she's to give her a little talk, to give her a break. She was trying not to throw up, but she does just lay there all the fucking time. She's the queen of the observers.
She's an observer.
She's the queen of the observers, I would say. All right, so moving on.
Let's see. Sam discovers Lindsay and Carl aren't there, and then she needs to go report back. And then Sam asks Kyle to call it, and he does.
Yeah, well, he says that he's tired of being the ring bearer, and unfortunately for him, has to make this call because he's on the show. But I think Kyle has reached a critical mass, a tipping point, so to speak. He doesn't give a fuck. He's like, I don't want to fucking... And this is why I'm kind of on Kyle's side right here, because you can see that he couldn't care less. In this moment, he just wants to get fucked up. They're TV friends. He's going to fire Carl next week. It doesn't matter. But he does call, and the melodramatic lures that they throw out are these things that make me want to throw up. So I just despise this quality in people. We've talked about the toxic relationship people all the time who try to like throw out a line about how they're not doing well for you to bite. And you're like, you know, you've been like this for such a long time. That's actually an aversion. I don't want to check in on you. If you, I'm not going to get that dark. But Pedge has a really great call here. She says that, Carl and Lindsay say, the lure that I'm speaking of, terrible job hosting tonight. I'm sorry. And it's such a good episode, so I feel sad about it. But Lindsay and Carl are like, yeah, I mean, to think that like we were just all night with our cell phones and not one of you guys called. So that's horrifying, haunting, and has really illuminated that you guys don't care about us. And it's like, wow, are you fucking out of your goddamn mind?
I agree.
Oh my God. What is with your defense of these two? I don't understand it. They're
I just
so
think the other
awful.
people are equally as awful. Case in point, Danielle, when she's told they left. Sorry to use a Marvel example, but her reaction is like Thanos just took care of half the fucking planet. She's like, what?
Yeah.
They left. Yeah, they left. You haven't been supportive of the relationship for the last 12 weeks. They
Yeah.
don't even like you right now.
Right.
Why are you?
Right.
I guess you're shocked.
How does he get that last stone, Kaylin?
Is that the sacrifice? The Scarlett Johansson sacrifice? But when he kills Gamora?
Yeah, no, I think that's it.
Is that the last one?
What are you doing right now?
What do you mean?
What are you looking at?
What do you mean? Well, I was wondering what you guys were talking about.
No. So I'm not a nerd with this. See, this is what we've talked about many times. You're not a nerd if you're into Marvel movies. Okay, you're Megan Fox.
But I've seen all of them.
Yeah. No, I don't remember how he gets the last one, and I shouldn't have asked that question. He just kills his daughter. I remember at some point.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, he's got to save the universe,
Right.
because he's a bad guy with depth. You could call him an anti-hero. And that's what makes Marvel movies so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right up there with Pixar, you know?
Oh, Pixar movies. Fantastic. Did you cry when that imaginary elephant couldn't get up to the top?
What movie's that?
What movie is that?
Lights Out.
No. It's the one with all of the emotions.
Inside Out.
Inside Out.
Didn't see that
Lights
one.
Out. That's a horror movie.
You got to check that movie out.
I've heard.
Yeah.
I heard it's really good.
When that elephant can't get up there, you'll cry.
Great. That's what I need.
You will, though. I mean, you got to cry in a Pixar movie, and we have to get back to the show. I'm so sorry. So, Pedge has a great call. She says, Lindsay is that kind of psychopath that only really needs one source of mana. Because she wouldn't have a network of people in her life. She just needs one thing that she bloodlets, and then she moves on to the next thing. For the longest time,
It's like a parasite.
Yeah. Before you know it, that fucking thing busts out of the ant's head, and it's Lindsay Hubbard.
We were little kids. We used to let mosquitoes suck all the blood out. Like, what are you doing over there?
Oh, God.
Parasite.
I was at summer camp one time, and this kid said, do you want to try my blood? Because we had never tried blood before, and I told my mom, and she was like, do me a favor. Just as a rule of thumb, don't ingest other people's blood. You never know what's in there. All right, so here comes gym owner Corey. My wife said we should just start calling him Croy. So he hasn't slept, but he's here to party. Oh, yeah. Why have you not slept? What do you do?
He's probably fucking someone all night.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, he's got some stank on his hang glow because he takes the attention of all the women in that house. All of them. I'm talking Paige, not only Sam, I think Gabby wants to bang him.
Yeah.
He's the alpha in this house.
He's that kind of guy that shows up and he does have this energy to him where you're like excited that he's there, and then he's there for 2 days and you're talking to him at night on the next day and you're like, I don't fucking see the point of you existing. All right, so I spoke last week that I'm not a fan of the kind of women who are attracted to Corey, because how could you be attracted to that? And yeah, I don't want to be nasty like that. Sam is 26 years old, and what I realized is, and this isn't like any kind of epiphany or anything, but specifically with Summer House, these are just very young people, or people who haven't grown, a.k.a. Kyle, Greg.
Mm-hmm. Arrested
Development, having extremely dumb conversations with one another.
Oh, yes.
If they're not getting fucked up, if they're not fighting, if they're not fucking and sucking, there are these conversations about how painful it is to be a hopeless romantic. There are conversations about how she's excited to see him and she hasn't felt that way in a long time. You know, and it's just like, we got to stop watching the show.
Yeah.
We can't do it anymore. You know what I mean? All right, what happens next?
Well, they, I guess they're all going to go on yachts, or are they? They're going to be split into two boats.
This was so nonsensical to me. The one boat is large enough for everybody. It looked.
I agree with you.
What is with this splitting of the boats?
Absolutely stupid, and Bravo bothered giving us a boat manifesto of who would be on each boat, and I don't give a shit.
Well, and the disparity between the two boats is...
One was a fucking tugboat.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And the other one looked like kind of like a small yacht.
One looked like it could drag along one shipping container with a bunch of small children in it. And the other one looked like it was a goddamn yacht. I mean, I'd be really pissed off. This one smells sad. Why do you guys get that one?
Oh, now it was horrible television, and it made no sense. But one thing that I did notice is, why is Greg on one boat and Gabby on Paige on the other?
Yeah.
That's so odd. These two, obviously, they're fake TV relationship.
No, they're just
over.
secure in their relationship. They're that kind of couple that's like...
They don't even sleep in the same bed kind of comfortable.
They're so comfortable.
She lets Sierra lay on top of him like they're a couple kind of relationship.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, again, they're secure. But we get to a portion of the episode where Maya gets a DM asking if she and Oliver are... Together, single, or whatever, committed to one another. And, I was thinking producer probably sent her this DM, but it's probably just some person that he fucked. But regardless of what is going on, I don't care.
Can I tell you, though?
Yeah.
This is how I'd handle it if
Right.
I ever got a text. You send a text right back saying, I can't respond right now because Oliver's
Patrick.
Or if you want to go the other way with it, you say, you respond because someone's saying, are you hooking up with Oliver? You say, I don't want to answer that, but you should probably visit your gyno right now because Oliver gave me.
Okay.
You freak the person out. You really like vet if they're a meaningful person. You know?
Can you time code these?
Flag it.
Can you flag this, please? Because we're gonna have to bleep that, and now we're gonna have to pay him more, and on an episode that, I mean, quite honestly, and I'm sorry, I'll try to turn it around, but I feel like a lame horse right now. I mean, we're coming around the bend, and we're not going to place, and we're going to be fucking killed after this race. Quite honestly, that's how I feel about this episode.
I feel differently.
All right. So we get to cool, hot lesbian stuff. Amanda's having people drink stuff out of her belly button. Oh, wait. We're actually going to talk about Gabby and her fucking codependency with her insanely rich parents and her talking to her therapist about how she resents them from moving away. It was just such a bummer because it was going to be a boat trip kind of cool thing. You know what I mean? And then we started talking about Gabby's codependency on her parents.
Yeah, well, don't forget Maya. She's got some random person texting her.
No, listen, I'm totally kidding. I'm not juvenile like that. You know, we don't need lesbo stuff, or I mean to say beautiful lesbian romance on our reality television shows. You know, you can there are websites for that kind of thing. And I never actually frequent that kind. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not into that kind of thing. You know, like I'm more into like fucking. Right. You know what I mean? Not to say that that's not fucking. That's beautiful lesbian romance, and it is fucking. Patrick, say something.
Sure.
Now.
Hey,
God
meanwhile,
damn
while
it.
all this is happening, Carl and Lindsay, they do sneak back in that house, right? To get some of their stuff and the rest of that upside-down pineapple cake. Dylan, I've never had upside-down pineapple cake.
Oh, wow.
But it sounds delicious.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
you haven't lived.
I don't think I have. I think I did have it at Sizzler once.
You ever had a pinkberry?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Did not live up to the expectations.
Oh, you're wrong.
Okay. Let's just cut to Saturday, September 3rd, 9:21 a.m.
Okay.
Everyone returns. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
Why did they give me that?
No, we can't get there yet because we would have to end the boats with nothing else than the Ick and Kyle doing a Jack and Rose.
So stupid.
Because who else would do this, and how would it not be done? All right, so
everyone returns back to the house, and they notice that goddamn upside-down pineapple cake is missing.
What a little bitch boy Carl is. He goes in there, throws the T-shirt on the camera. It's like, dude, not drinking didn't solve all your problems. You're worse now.
Made him bad TV.
You are like, but also he's unwell. This is like, you're doing a thing where you're acting like a fucking kid. This is sophomore in college kind of bullshit. Like you're throwing cameras on the you're stealing the cake. You're having a meltdown right now.
I think it's their cake though. What are you going to let a bunch of your fake TV friends eat it?
And when they get back, Pedge has the only correct take on this. Now, everybody's shit-faced. She goes, I fucking respect the shit out of that. And I do, too. I'd fucking take that cake, too. Maybe not drinking is good for Carl. It's not good. It's good for a lot of people. You shouldn't overindulge in that kind of poison. Unless you're like a poet or something.
Well,
need you again, buddy.
Oh, yeah, sure. So that's when multiple inspections are done to see if, they're still in the house or not, Yeah. And then that's when the Ick and Corey, they find Carl and Lindsay's cowboy hats. If you remember, they're from Kyle's 40th birthday party, which was themed Western because he has a mullet.
Right. And then Ken comes out of one of the bathrooms and he's like, can you believe they took the cake? No, wouldn't it be funny if Carl and Lindsay exploded through one of the ceilings? All right, so
Danny gets upset that people are in Carl and Lindsay's room. This is where that turn towards the good come back.
You mean the lateral annoying move?
Yeah.
Really quickly though, Carl, you just want to gloss over all of the horrible things that Carl and Lindsay do.
Well, they're annoying to production because you're supposed to be filming a show here, people.
Carl says the voices of support are being drowned out by the voices of negativity, which is just a pathetic thing to say.
Is it true, though?
No, it's not true.
Who's been positive about their relationship all season?
Everybody's been fine. Nobody cares about them.
I think that's their point.
No, that's not their point. People care about them. Maybe they have a point. But the voices of support being drowned out by the voices of negativity is quite a way, I feel, to spin we're allowing Danielle to ruin our weekend. Because that's essentially what's going on.
Well, if you remember, though, at their romantic party after, tying the
everybody was happy for them.
Danielle would not shut up. She was talking. Remember, I talked. She was talking to the barkeep. She was like, "Can you believe they didn't tell me?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "I don't know who you are."
Right.
So she did it to everybody.
And then Ken was like, "This is Danielle. She's from Summer House. Can you believe?"
Ken, get out of here. You need to take your medication.
All right, sorry. All right, so thank God the whole thing happened. If it means, never mind. So, yeah, Kyle says it's a Christina Gibson. Garbage tits, you're going to have to let us know what was going on with that. We have not seen that early on. Long story short, we don't have the cake tonight, and both of them are fucking shit-faced. I don't know who I'm referring to.
Well, hours later, this is when they didn't actually cook that meal. They picked up grocery store sushi.
From Wegmans,
Yeah. And that's where they have dinner, and everyone proceeds to eat, and then we do X-rated charades.
Well, okay. I shouldn't get this high because you're pushing us along too fast, and I know that we're going long, but there is this thing where they're so drunk. Greg is throwing his clothing in the pool. They're throwing full cans of Loverboy at windows. God, that could have easily just gone a couple feet to the left and just the security deposit's gone. No, they don't.
It's a rental.
And they're shattering the beds. This is this thing where what are we doing here? Let's say you and I go up to Paso Robles, right?
Yeah, we're
having a good weekend. And then all of a sudden I get really fucking drunk and I start just breaking things.
I'd have a problem.
You'd have a problem, right?
Dylan, you're going to have to help me out with that deposit, sir.
It's so annoying. So, Danielle, this is when the Stockholm Syndrome strikes. She's triggered, horrified, hot, dare I say. And this lovely little jag back and forth between her and Maya occurs. And it's kind of like an early Adam McKay bit where she's like, I think you're pretty hot right now. And she's like, I am not hot. And she's like, I don't know. You seem pretty hot to me. And she's like, I'm actually very cold right now, Maya. And then Maya goes, no, I think you're hot. And Danielle goes, why don't you shut the fuck up? And walks out of the room. Things are really, really heating.
A little too late for the cast, I want to say.
I would say and Greg says the bitch is brainwashed. Very insulting, Greg. Mm-hmm. And then also says that Lindsay Hubbard is the poison. So let's make some sushi and let's have some heart-to-heart with two really deep and important friends. Him and Corey, there's this moment between them where they don't know what to say to each other.
It's because they're drunk.
Yeah, but they're also alone together.
Right.
And they don't have the evening's proceedings to talk about the next morning.
Right.
Because they could easily do that. That's where they've bonded.
Yeah.
They talk about fucking. They talk about punching police horses. But now that they're about to make this meal together, they're like... I
don't think we always need to keep talking, We should be comfortable in our own silence,
Yeah.
But they couldn't say that.
Yeah. And then they just slowly hold hands. So the dinner is bowls of things. It's not cooked. They buy everything. And Greg at one point says, so this is what you do. You grab some rice, you grab some seaweed, you grab some fish, and then you make it yourself. And if you don't like something, throw it in the pool. And they're like, no, we can't do that. And he's like, no, we can't. I cooked it. All right, so charades is sexy. It's... sexy. So Greg calls his mom to say happy birthday at 11 p.m. And this is one of those calls that a mother should be very concerned about. Because it's one of those things where your child calls you and they're old and they couldn't be further away from having their shit together. And it makes you think, what did I do? Why is my 40-year-old son calling me crying saying I didn't forget your birthday? Because I did something wrong. He should just have not called her.
No, it's a cry for help, though.
Yeah.
Parent knows that. Mm-hmm.
He should have just said, you're not going to believe this. We were hunted yesterday. These people came. They tried to kidnap us. I'm okay.
Yeah, start with that first. You don't want to scare an old person.
Right, exactly. All right, so Corey and Sam fuck in the closet. Greg heads in. He's very upset about something and wants Paige to love him. Unfortunately, she's laid out like that crime scene outline like I was talking about, and she couldn't give two fucks. Now, this is what we want right here. He's throwing the mic. She's throwing up. We're crying. This is what Summer House should be. Mm-hmm. But, like Pat said, too little, too late. So, we want the day drinking. Excuse me. Moving on. Kyle and Amanda, nope. Moving on. Maya has a dream about 3/4 turned French toast sticks that are not fully cooked. I would say that's pretty haunting. That could have huge implications.
See a therapist after that.
Absolutely.
Wow.
You know.
And then your therapist has you committed. That's an insane thing to say, Maya.
Right. Because you could think that like, oh, that's just kind of a nonsense kind of throwaway dream. I'm dreaming about French toast sticks, right? But what that is an indication of is something very wrong. Maybe they can sort the whole thing out on codependency. Ken, will you play a little bit more of that? No, I'm kidding. All right, so Pedge and Greg are not doing well. He feels like he's alone because Pedge is a cold-hearted monster.
And she hates him. And it's a fake relationship. She used you, buddy. She used you.
So while the whole thing is discussed, the women just make fun of him. And we wrap up the episode.
Someone calls him a pussy, I think. It says he cries too much. And then they tried to grab his fist and punch his face with his own fist. I think that was Paige doing that.
And I love how he's like, he's such a little boy. He's like, will you come shower, please? And it's like, it's totally about how he needs her emotional support, but he also wants to fuck her. You know? And he's like, I can't believe you didn't come in the shower. I really need you right now.
She's grossed by him.
All right. So we divvy up chores, and we will be back next week for the big finale, I believe the last episode of the season, and then we'll do the reunions. Sorry for tonight.
Why? I think they loved it. It was a long show. You went off on some fun tangents. Kayla, how'd you think the show was?
It was fun. It was a fun show.
I think you're
well, how many turkey sandwiches would you give it?
Is this still out of 100?
Yeah.
Kaylin, that is such a crazy question.
Well, you said this episode was great and then gave it like 7. So I
gave it 4, but how many would you give this podcast?
I'd give it like a 52.
Oh, there you go.
It's not
solid F.
Yeah, I think so too. So jump in the comments. Let us know what you thought about the episode. Join us everywhere, including patreon.com for Vanderpump Rules. We love you guys very much. iTunes ratings and reviews. Bye. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Pat, say goodbye.
Bye, guys.
There's a lot of stuff on TV, but not all of it's good. In fact, a lot of it's bad TV.